Attribute number 7, worthy to be feared, part 2. Meditation number 27. The God we simultaneously fear and desire. Hebrews 10:22 and 31. Let us draw near to God. It is a dreadful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. Psalm 33:18. The eyes of the Lord are on those who fear him, on those whose hope is in his unfailing love. What is wonderful about this attribute? The God whose hands are a dreadful thing to fall into is the same God to whom we long to draw near. Those searching, penetrating, sin-exposing, and punishing eyes are the same eyes we delight to have look upon us. God is so good, so wonderful, so delightful, so trustworthy, so gracious, so generous, so wise, and so compassionate that his gaze is desired even by those who are terrified of his chastisement. It is a holy gaze that reacts strongly against sin, and yet, sinful as we are, those who fear his displeasure also long for his gaze. We long to draw near and for him to look upon us and turn his attention to us. And in this holy, dangerous God, we place all our hope. It is not uncommon for some Christians to balk at the idea of fearing God. Those who had a harsh, angry father growing up may take a special delight in the love and tenderness of God and think of fearing one's father as a bad thing. Having a hard, unloving, irritable father is indeed a bad thing. However, that is not the only kind of fear. There's a good fear and bad fear. Both kinds are mentioned in Exodus 20, verses 18 to 20. When the people saw the thunder and lightning and heard the trumpet and saw the mountains in smoke, they trembled with fear. They stayed at a distance and said to Moses, "Speak to us and we will listen, but do not have God speak to us or we will die." Moses said to the people, "Do not be afraid. God has come to test you so that the fear of God will be with you to keep you from sinning." When Moses tells them not to be afraid, in verse 20, he's forbidding the bad kind of fear. But then he immediately goes on to describe the good kind of fear in the rest of verse 20. The bad kind of fear caused people to withdraw from God. They stayed at a distance and did not want God to speak to them. Another mark of the bad fear is that it has a paralyzing effect. When you think your father is impossible to please and will be angry with you no matter what you do, it makes you want to do nothing. The wicked, lazy servant of Matthew 25:25 buried his talent in the ground and did nothing because he had the bad kind of fear. He was afraid of his master's harshness. Any fear that pushes you towards laziness, disobedience, or reluctance to draw near to God is the bad kind of fear. There is, however, a different kind of fear, a good kind. Exodus 20:20, Moses said to the people, "Do not be afraid. God has come to test you so that the fear of God will be with you to keep you from sinning." The good kind of fear makes you recoil not from God, but from sin. Just as the child who shudders at the thought of his father's displeasure also longs for his father's embrace, so we are drawn to the God we fear. God is a good Father, worthy to be simultaneously feared and desired. This is why there is no contradiction in today's verse, Psalm 33:18, which speaks of those who both fear God and who hope in His unfailing love. What effect would it have on your heart if you were to consciously experience God's worthiness to be simultaneously feared and desired today? Experiencing this attribute. The starting place for experiencing the good kind of fear is to eliminate the bad kind of fear from your life. The bad fear is born out of wrong conceptions of what God is like. When our fear of God makes us want to withdraw from Him rather than draw near to Him, it can only mean that our understanding of Him is distorted. Immerse yourself in the Psalms. Read one psalm each day and make a list of every wonderful fact about God that you can find in that psalm. God is, God always, God never. And then meditate and pray about that list. Spend time thinking about what an amazing thing it is to be near such a being. Let the Word of God drive all wrong conceptions of God out of your heart. Think, what attitudes or feelings do you have toward God that might reflect wrong beliefs about what He is like? Promises to trust today. Psalm 15, 1 and 4. Lord, who may dwell in your sanctuary? Those who fear the Lord. In Psalm 25:14, the Lord confides in those who fear Him.